Okay. Um, Hello, everyone. It's 7 p.m. my time, and I guess we will start. Some of you will join us a little bit late, but just to stick to the schedule, we will start now. First of all, thank you very much for joining today. It's a great pleasure to hold this webinar for those who have joined us today. And so a year ago, we just started an initiative called AgileGym. So, and the aim of this initiative was to bring into the open some of the challenges that we might have doing our work in Scrum framework or in Agile environment in general. And so from time to time, we are holding these webinars to share with our knowledge, with our concerns maybe, and also to hear your suggestions, your ideas, and your questions. So this time, we are going to talk about the product owner role and why we came up with this topic, because a lot of companies are actually struggling with identifying the correct description for this role and the scope of the responsibilities. It was also almost the same as with the Scrum Master position. So this time we decided to dedicate some time to the product owners as a really key position in the Scrum team. We have also covered some of the aspects based on the latest updates in Scrum Guide, which are essential. But some of the bigger frameworks have not done these changes yet. So let's stay tuned and let's see what would be the changes in other frameworks. So let's start. So who am I? I'm Anna Zakoyan. I'm an agile coach and trainer. I'm the founder and CEO at PrimeProjekt. So what we do is actually we help different size companies to improve their team, product, and project processes. And we are aimed at value delivering. So based on that, companies are having high performing teams and they have more optimized processes so they can go and achieve their goals. I have been practicing agile for quite some time now. Before that, I've been a traditional project manager, so I know all the differences, the challenges of these transitions, and that's something that I've put in my work. And right now, I have a really great team, who share the same vision, and I'm really happy about this. I've completed more than 40 projects, have trained more than 100 teams. It might be even more if we count the companies as well, like the bigger companies. And I'm also doing individual trainings, like for individuals, not only for companies. So our main customers are from IT sphere, of course, banking and professional services. And my certification actually goes mostly with Scrum Alliance, but I also have certifications from Scrum.org. So that's in short. If you are interested to know more about me, you can check my LinkedIn, you can write me messages. I would be more than pleased to answer all your questions. So let's go back to the topic. Who is the product owner? Okay, so initially, before November 2020, this was defined as a role on Scrum team. The product owner was one of the 3 roles on Scrum team. But based on the recent Scrum Guide that was updated and presented in November, it is not considered as a role anymore. So there are mostly sets of accountabilities like product owner, Scrum Master, and the developers. So there is no development team anymore, but developers. And this is done in order to combine all of these positions into this value bringing, into this common goal understanding and sharing the success and failures. So there are no us and them anymore. So there is one common Scrum team who is accountable and responsible almost for everything, for delivering these increments. So what actually the product owner does? So this person is accountable for maximizing the value, or you might have heard many times that this person is named as the value maximizer. So accountable for maximizing the value of the product resulting from the work of the Scrum team, not the development team, but the Scrum team. Because now Scrum Masters are also accountable for the success or failure of the product. So they are also in the same boat with the developers and the product owner. Okay, what else? Developing and explicitly communicating the product goal. Okay, so this is something new. In the old Scrum guide, we did not have this term product goal. We had only sprint goal, right? But actually, in this new guide, I think that this is logical that they have added this part, the product goal, because we in our everyday work we always create some roadmaps, milestones, product visions. We fill in the business or lean canvas, or we always have this goal in mind, and we always present it to the team. So this is not something that we have not done before this updates in the Scrum, but now it is more official that actually product owner is developing the product goal and presenting it to the team, and they collaborate on it. So the developers have to know what the product goal is actually before they can go and craft together within the whole Scrum team, craft together the sprint goals. Also, besides that, creating and clearly communicating product backlog items, that's something that is not new. Ordering product backlog items and ensuring that the product backlog is transparent, visible, and understood. So these are the main responsibility descriptions that are shown in this new Scrum guide. Okay, there is one thing that I want to mention, that before that, we had this understanding that actually the product owner is the person who is defining, for example, during the planning meeting, like what should be done, like why it should be done, and the development team was the one that was deciding how to implement those items, for example, the ones that product owner has explained, and who is going to do that. So they were meeting only in the sphere of when. But based on this new Scrum guide, actually, it's quite interesting that right now, all of them share this whole scope of responsibilities. Okay, so the whole Scrum team is accountable for why we are having this sprint. Okay, so having the product goal in mind. So how this sprint or the sprint goal will just bring us closer to our product goal. What we have to do within the sprint, so the sprint goal, who is going to do that, and how they are going to do that. So these questions are covered during the planning meetings where the whole Scrum team collaborates. So do you see that these zones of responsibility has just vanished, because the whole Scrum team right now is responsible for creating this value. So there is one thing that is not changing. product owner, it is really important that product owner is a one person and it is not a committee. I've seen in many companies that, they have a product management team and they decide all together. So sometimes the product owner is just a proxy, and they are just bringing the ideas of the product management team to the team. So they are kind of the middle person, which should not be true, because the product owner is the sole person who has the final say at the end. They definitely need to collaborate with stakeholders. So the stakeholders could be like from different divisions, from marketing, sales, from other, but at the end, if there are different ideas over a feature or over like the product goal in general, so product owner is the sole person to say we are going this way. Okay. And the next important thing is that the product owners, for the product owner to succeed, the entire organization must respect their decision. So empowerment is really important here. But again, depending on the company size and context, also the level of empowerment for the product owner can be really different. It does not mean that it is wrong, because if you are an enterprise with 10,000 plus members, obviously you might have hundreds of product owners, which might be responsible for some part of the product or for one product, one small product. So it really, again, depends on the context. But again, whatever is given to the product owner, whether this is the whole product, whether this is a component or it is feature based, so like small part of the product, whatever is included in this ownership, then the product owner is responsible for that, and the entire organization must respect their decisions. 1 month ago, before the Scrum Guide updates came in, we created a post, again, based on many inquiries, like what is the difference between the product manager and product owner? Because right now there is this struggle. Many specialists, they say that, okay, product manager is a more strategic role because you deal with analytics, with market, with analysis, with value proposition and things like that, while product owner is not doing that. So we better switch to a product manager. So we decided to bring some light on this topic, and we broke it down this way. And it was true until the final update of the Scrum Guide. So the product owner was a role on Scrum team, while product manager was not. It was mostly considered as job. The basic responsibility of the product manager is, and it is still true, is to work with the market, to identify market needs, to do this overall vision of the product, creating roadmaps, budgeting and return on investment, identifying the key features and objectives, doing analysis of the competition, for example. And so this work is more related to creating this upfront package, okay? So collaborating mainly with marketing, with business. And once this package is ready, then it is passed to the execution team. So usually the product manager does not relate or work on day-to-day basis with the execution team. Usually it is done by let's say the development department, where you can have a project manager doing this execution thing. The product owner, on the other side, Okay, we see this, that it is written in many, many ways, that is responsible for maximizing the value of the product by creating and managing the product backlog. Okay, so this sentence is really important, because what does it mean, maximizing the value of the product? This means that this person should be able to contribute to the vision, to the solution, to the technology, to the backlog, and more than that. So this person also is working on day-to-day basis with the developers, so to do the execution. So it's a person that works on both sides. Okay. So if again, if we get back to this comparison, so product managers might do more strategic work, like with problem discovery in a product that has not been defined yet, without the interaction with the development team much. And as I said, the product owner is really focused on execution. We might have this upfront work done, for example, creation of the roadmap, vision, etc. But also there is this part of the execution that that the product managers usually do not do. So there are two things that I want to maybe add it in this post. So again, there is no more thing like product owner role. Okay, so this term role is eliminated from the new Scrum Guide. So there are accountabilities. Okay, and the other important thing that I want to add, it is not only the execution of the solutions. So if the product owner is the person that is developing a product goal, that this means that this person is also included in the strategic work. So in some case, these two roles become really identical, with this small differentiation, that product owner is working within the Scrum team, is working also on the execution part. We do not have a project manager there. So if, let's say, I get back to what Roman Pichler once said, he's an agile product manager, consultant, trainer, coach, and author, speaker. So he have written this like some years ago, but it is still true. So the product owner should understand the business, definitely the user needs, and collaborate with the development. So he said that he views the product owner as a product management role, as an agile product manager. Okay, so do you see the difference? It is still the same position like the product manager, but as in agile we have this collaborative work, and as in agile we aim at bringing the final value and seeing it. So in agile we do not care about like the small pieces of the work, but we want to see it as a whole, right? And to work with small iterations to create this value for our customers. This means that our product owner is actually covering this end-to-end cycle, like from market and users, again, until the market and users, and all of this loop. So in some case, this is my personal opinion, that product owner is really doing a lot more work. And let's also think about the name, okay? Why it is not named something else, but it is named product owner. So this person owns the product. So this person knows the product, knows the business, knows the team, can collaborate with the team, can collaborate with the stakeholders, with the users, with everyone involved. That's why this person is the owner. So let's not consider this person as just a role on the Scrum team. someone who writes the user stories and just does planning with the team and just afterwards reviews the work of the team. It is much more than that. Okay, so there are some product owner anti-patterns that I would like to share with you because it is really important. I've seen this, all of these things and some of variations of these problems in many, many different companies. Okay, the first thing, like the most obvious thing, is when we have huge backlogs, huge backlogs, undefined stories, tasks, and some of them are even not urgent and not important anymore, but they are still on our backlog. So here we forget one of the principles of Agile Manifesto, the simplicity, the art of maximizing the amount of work not done is essential. Okay, so this is really important. If something is not important and is not urgent, then it should be eliminated from backlog. We have to keep it short, and we have to make sure that whatever we have on our backlog is going to bring value, is going to move us closer to our like final goal. Then also, like another anti-pattern is that when like prioritization is done by someone else, like by a proxy, and sometimes PO here is acting more as maybe a project manager or someone in between that is taking this prioritization and giving to the team. So we cannot call this person as an owner anymore. The other anti-pattern are people who are really pushy. So they constantly push things. So they accept the developers are as someone who should do whatever they want. And again, there is lack of communication and of understanding of why we are doing this together. So we are more considering, in that case, the developers as resources, which is really which is wrong. Interfering PO. So again, like why you are doing this, when you are going to deliver this, etc., etc. Right? You might also have seen this kind of POs which are constantly interfering into the work, but with less valuable insights. So instead of collaboration and again moving towards the same goal altogether, they are just constantly interfering in the work. When our issues or product backlog items are really too detailed, that's also a problem, because when the product owners write product backlog items which have too details in them, then we do not give the space for the developers to say how they are going to implement those product backlog items. So this PO is interfering into the solutions of the developers, which is again not right. We are not creating some standard teams who just are task doers, but our main goal as Scrum teams are to create like people who are self-managing and cross-functional. In order to have that, they have to have this ability and freedom to to decide how and what and why and who. Also, there are some POs that always say, okay, I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm building. So there is always this ego that they know more about the product than anyone else. They are really closed about any new ideas, and they always want to say or to present whatever they think it is right. And again, lack of collaboration. Sometimes whatever we think that is correct might be really wrong. So as a PO, you should be really open to new ideas, to hear what your users, what your stakeholders, what your developers and Scrum Master are saying to you. Okay, so again, definition of ready. We know what is definition of ready, but some of the POs, they might, change this from sprint to sprint, let's say. Okay, for today's sprint, the definition of ready is this, this, and this. But then during the next sprint, they might say, okay, no, we are just changing it. For this sprint, the definition of ready is this, this, and this. So it is again wrong, because we remember that consistency in our processes and decisions is really important. And let's do not mix it with accepting change, because sometimes this is also considered as something that change is good, so we have to be open to the changes. Change does not mean anarchy, okay, let's face it. So having consistent understanding of definition of ready is something that POs should think about. The selfish PO. Okay, so I have seen this, by the way, during the work itself. Some of the POs, they might just present the success of the sprint or of the product as their own success. So whenever they are presenting it to, let's say, senior management, to users or whatever, to stakeholders, and this is, again, that's why this anti-pattern is named selfish PO, because it actually, again, the whole success and failure is shared commonly between these three accountabilities. Also, the product owners, I usually say that those should be people who are strong and confident enough and knowledgeable to say no whenever it is needed, to say no to your stakeholders, to say no to your management, to say no to your team, to your users or whatever, because it is really important. Remember, in the previous slide we mentioned that actually this person is the final decision maker. So if we are not able to say no, we might really do some big mistakes. Okay, so sprint goal. There is no sprint goal, and I would add here also there is no product goal. Okay, that's also anti-pattern, because I've also seen many times when the product goal is constantly pivoting. The sprint goal, either it is absent or it can be changed during the sprint itself. So these are really big anti-patterns for a product owner. Absent PO. Sometimes I've seen also this in some of the teams that I have coached, that there is this division between the developers, Scrum Master, and the PO. Sometimes the PO is considered as someone, as a manager, and the rest of the Scrum team members are considered as, like executors. So there is no much link in between them. And from that perspective, some POs think that they can be absent, actually. If the developers have any questions, they have to ask me during the planning meeting, for example, and then I will come up at the end of the sprint, at the review, to do a demo of their work. Again, this is not true. Let's remember that this person is part of the Scrum team. So this person has the same responsibilities and the same position as the rest of the two positions on the Scrum team accountabilities. So it is really important, the PO, to be there for the developers, because it is a shared work. Again, there is no such a thing as us and them, or me and them. It is only us, okay? And the broadcasting PO. So sometimes when there is a new release, or there are new ideas that are generated, they are not discussed with stakeholders, with anyone. So the PO just can go and say, okay, we are doing it this way. So broadcasting to everyone without any, discussions, collaboration. Again, this is an anti-pattern that we would like to avoid if we want to become a really good product owner. Okay, so next thing that I want to talk about are the product owner structures. Actually, this is also a very important topic. And Okay, so in Scrum, it is more simple structure. So we have product owner, developers, and Scrum Master, and they form this Scrum team. Everyone is really on the same position, and the product owner is like representing users, might collaborate with business owners, stakeholders, subject matter experts, or whatever. So to gain, ideas, requirements, and to come up with a final decisions. So this is the simple structure, okay? But let's say that if you have more like bigger companies like that have larger structures, more people involved. Some companies that have been working in traditional working environments, they consider this hierarchical structure as something that is more close to them and easy to understand. For example, having a chief product owner, right? Like this person is just deciding on everything, like maybe something like a portfolio manager or head of product or someone like that, who is also managing the other product owners. And then each product owner can be a part of a Scrum team. So this hierarchical structure is also proposed by Disciplined Agile, and it is also used in many organizations. The next structure that is actually used by Scaled Agile framework or SAFe is this one. So we have the users, then actually working with the users, analysis like competition, vision, roadmap, etc. So all of these things is done by the product manager. So there is this position of SAFe product manager. Okay. And then each SAFe product manager can work with up to 4 product owners. So the product manager is creating this vision analysis roadmap. Then, the product, like the separate product owners, each of them is working on the solution, technology, and team. And then each of the product owners can work with up to 2 agile teams. So the agile teams are responsible for the delivery. Okay, so one product manager can work from 2 to 4 product owners. Then each product owner can work to up to 2 agile teams. So this is something, again, that for companies that have been working in traditional approaches for a long time, this is something that they might find really appealing to them, because in almost all of these big organizations, there is such a role as product manager. So they won't be, like shocked by what we are going to do with this product manager role. So it stays there. And that's why maybe Scaled Agile framework is really popular, because it has a lot of these roles and positions. So it is not like in Scrum. It provides a lot of opportunities for each person to find their place. But if we are talking about true agile, again, this is my personal opinion, I really love and I'm in favor of large-scale Scrum. Why? Because again, it seems like more logical for the companies. There is a note for the companies that have been working with Scrum. For example, if you are already working with Scrum and you are already doing these events, you have these 3 roles, etc., etc. So there is no need, to introduce additional roles there. Rather than doing this, you can just move towards, let's say, this structure where you have one product owner, because like again, if you have a one product, then there should be one final decision maker on the product, like final product owner. So that is why, unless you have one product owner, one big product backlog, with all the items in it. And then your product might be really, really big. For example, you are the Facebook. Then you can have, for example, area product owners. Okay, so for example, your product is divided into components. Someone is taking care, for example, for the analytics, someone is taking care for something else. And so there is a division on product areas or product components. And each component or area has their own product owner, which have final decision for that part. And then they have they are involved in their Scrum teams, which are, again, like feature teams based on product features or product components. Okay, so as you see, it is the same Scrum, but as you can imagine, if your product is really, really big, then you have to divide it into like small pieces, because one person cannot handle this whole bunch of work. There is also another thing that I want to mention, how to find the right product owner, or what should be the right responsibilities and ownership areas for this product owner. It really depends on the context and size of your company. This is really important. If you are a small company, you can do Scrum pretty well or less pretty well. But if you are an enterprise, then you have to think, and if you have not done any Agile yet, then maybe something like disciplined Agile or a safe framework might be more suitable for you. But if you have already done Agile and using Scrum, then again, maybe less would be a better option for you, because you do not need to do any like big changes within it. It works on the same idea, and on the same, like the basis is the same Scrum framework. If we go back to the context of your company, okay, so if you are a product development company, then, of course, you have your customer segments, right? You can have like different user personas, different types of audience, and then you might have like different requests coming from your markets. And all of these requests will be just gathered in one product backlog. So here, when you choose the right product owner, it is essential that this person is coming from business. Why? Because this person should know business very, very well, because actually working with this product market segments, with the audience, different types of audiences, is really important for this person in order to create a valuable product. So that's why in most of the cases, I'm advising this person to be from business. So someone from this product management, okay? A person can have marketing background, can have, I don't know, like business background or whatever. So someone from this part. And then, you know, this person will be working with R&D, engineering and development teams, etc. So this is in case if you are developing a product for external users. Okay, but there might be cases when your product is internal. So you are developing an internal product for internal users. Some, let's say, HR division has requested, I don't know, a performance review tool from you. So you are developing it for your HR division. Okay, so the users are your internal company members, and they are just providing you with this request. So the right product owner in this case would be someone from that department. So it should be the lead user who is going to use this product. Okay, so either from that department or someone who is going to use that product as well. So someone who can view on this product from the other side, from the user side. And again, this person would create the product backlog and then have the feature priority and, work with the engineering, development, or IT team to implement the product. Okay, so here we have the product owner as the lead user. So in the previous slide, we had the product owner as the business person, business representative. And in the second case, we have the product owner as the lead user, okay? And let's say if you are doing project development. So for example, you work for partners, for external customers, so you are doing outsourcing, okay? So the product is not yours. You are just developing this product for your partners, and actually you are doing you are doing a project development, not actually the product is not yours. So the users are your partners, your customers, and so this is the company receiving side. Okay, so they are giving requests. Here it is really important that the product owner is on their side, on the receiving company side, okay, not on the outsourcing side, because again, this should be someone like a lead user, so someone who knows this problem, who knows, who has participated in creation of the vision, etc., who is living in this world. So again, someone from that company who would be getting the requests from their users, who would be creating the product backlog and then prioritizing them and then giving it to the outsourcing company, like development company, where you can have someone as a project manager who can do this communication, or you might not have a person like that. Just, this lead user might work directly with the developers, or you can have the Scrum team. So the Scrum Master is on the developer side and this product owner, lead user on the customer side, but you collaborate as one whole Scrum team. Okay, so this is the third way of how to identify what kind of product owner do we need. There is one thing, if we just, summarize all of these aspects and approaches, what we should take into account when scaling the product owner role. So we have to understand whether we need a single product owner or collective ownership. So if the company is really small, if you are a startup, let's say you have one product and you are in this mode of experimenting, etc., and the size of the team is not big, then you definitely do not need a product manager, a project manager, or someone else. Then you might need a single product owner who will own the product and just will lead it towards your desired goals. But for example, if the company is bigger or the product is really complex, so that one single product owner cannot do the whole jobs, because it can be a really huge list of responsibilities. If your product is complex, if the company is really big, then you might think of collective ownership. I would say that this division of, like product owner and feature or area owners, as we saw in large scale Scrum, is really a very good one. When you have one product owner responsible for the product as a general, but then if the product is really complex, then you can divide it into components or areas, and then you can have area product owners responsible for that particular part with their appropriate, like developers and Scrum Masters. So I'm thinking that, splitting the role is not the correct approach here. For example, having one product manager and one product role. Product manager is doing this, and this, and product owner is doing this and this and this, and project manager is doing this and this, for example. So this is the wrong approach, because at the end, again, we have to understand what we want to gain at the end. Okay, so this is the final increment. We have to have this accountability from each of them. But if the roles are just divided, this means the whole, like product development cycle is divided. So none of them will be able to show you a final product. Okay, so that's why splitting the product into components or features is really essential and beneficial in that case, because if you have a product owner for the analytics part, let's say, then this product owner at the end can show you how the analytics work, because they are responsible for this part from end to end. So, and well, there is this also approach of strategic role and tactical role. Again, in big enterprises where this whole job is really, really big, then this role can be divided into these two parts, like strategic part where you do the analysis, like work with the market, identify the markets, the competition, the value proposition, etc. So these marketing parts, and then the second role would be the tactical, so the execution part. So the product manager, for example, can do this first part of the job, and the product owner can take this strategist thing, and by collaborating and doing the prioritization and stuff like that, can do the execution of the work. So these are the main approaches that you can think of when scaling the product owner role. But again, remember about the ownership, about the respect towards their decisions, and about this overall accountability of the product owner role. So this is someone that is part of the team. Okay. These are some things that, there is a lot of things that we could talk about regarding the product owner, actually the responsibilities in more details, but obviously I cannot cover all of those topics during this webinar. So if you want to know more, of course, about like the product owner position in the Scrum, how the product owner should act during the execution with the development team, or what actually should do the product owner on the strategy part, like the creation of roadmap, vision, the business canvas, etc. The like elevator pitches, like doing the interviews with the users, and a lot of things like that. Then we are holding a product owner training actually in January. And if you want to join us to participate, simply go and register, or if you have any questions, you can just answer me. And I think the links for the training are in the first comment, so you can check them. And if you have any questions, please let me know. That was it that I presented today for you, prepared today for you. Thank you for joining. And right now I will dedicate some time for your questions. So we are going to do a little Q&A. You can write your questions in the chat, and I will see, and I will try to answer them. Okay, Rosanna says, always pleasure to listen to your vision. Anna John, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Also, great to hear such comments from you guys. Okay, what comments do we have? How many types of POs? How many types of POs? Um, Mariana, if you could elaborate more, I just talked about like different structures of POs and different contexts of the organizations. So I guess those can be considered as some types of POs, and maybe also the anti-patterns that we had. Those are also different types of POs that can be either constructive or not. But again, that's something that can happen in real life. Yeah, okay, we have a question. Is there a good training course for PO and an international certification? Okay, so again, if you consider having a course here, then again, write me. The link is in the first comment. You can check the content and just let us know. If you're talking about like international certifications, of course, there are a lot of product management courses, especially by universities, like known business schools. They always have this kind of courses, short courses, like Harvard had. And some of really known business schools, yet you can check their websites out. Also, for example, Scrum Alliance have really good product owner trainings, and Scrum.org also has them, so you can check them out. If you consider them, then their certification is also a really good one and internationally accredited. Okay, so it was interesting, their titles. Yes, yes, definitely. Let's call it the way that we call it in real life. Okay, we always said, "Oh, this PO is so selfish. He presents everything from his name," for example. So we always considered it that way, actually. Um, thank you for your comments. If you have questions, please do not hesitate. This is the time. Okay. Thanks. We do not have any other questions. Okay, then again, thank you very much for joining the webinar. Please follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and on our website. So to stay tuned to our post articles and news around us, and to be able to find what you are looking. And again, please feel free to write me and to leave messages, and I will get back to your questions. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening and see you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you.